Hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on Sunday, the 14th of June. And yes, again, it's the weekend. And so Paul took a lie-in today. So we are running later than normal. But hey, we are still here. Better late than never, as they say. In the news today, we'll be having a look at the cricket, where the Black Caps taking on England in the second test. We'll bring up speed with the NRL action from the weekend and also the Super Rugby Trans-Tasman from the rugby. We've got A-League action as the elimination finals are taking place this weekend, as well as finals action in the NBA and the NBL, plus other basketball action in the Sal's NBL as that's in its regular season. We also have golf action in the PGA, the European Tour, and the LPGA, with Kiwis in action in all of those. This is your best way to start the day up to speed with all the important sports news, or your best day, or the best way to head towards lunchtime, as it's about 11:30ish here in New Zealand. Let's kick off with that golf news then, and we have we'll start off with over in the on the PGA Tour with the Palmetto Champs. Play has been suspended during the third round, but Danny Lee completed the third round there. And he is currently at 6 under par, which means he's in tied 7th place. A fantastic result for Danny Lee. Got to be definitely his best performance so far this season, and one of his best performances of his career. Let's be honest here, as Dane making the cut is always a good move for him. He's missed the cut in a couple of gons, but to be in tied 7th place at 6 under par is great. He is 12 shots behind the leader, so let's be honest. Hadley is looking very good there. He's got a 4-shot lead ahead of English, and then a couple of the guys a couple of more shots back. So we're not talking about him winning the tournament, but still a very good result for Danny Lee so far in this one, with one more round to go. Over on the European Tour, and it's a Scandinavian mixed, and there's a 4-way tie for the lead at 12 under par in that one. But our eyes are on Ryan Fox, who is at 7 under par. He's 5 shots back from the lead, but down in tied 18th place there. Unfortunately, Geary missed the cut on that one. Over on the LPGA, and it's like the third round is live now, and Lydia Ko has made a real good comeback. Disappointing opening round, but she now sits at 4 under par, having just dropped a shot, unfortunately. In tied 13th place on the 14th, having completed the 14th hole there. She's 4 shots behind the leaders, Kang and Kim. At the top there at 8 under par, but Lydia Ko, fighting back from a disappointing opening round there, and going well in the LPGA Mediheal Championship. Real mouthful of that one, let's be honest. Let's move on then to the basketball, and over in the NBA. It's is conference semi-finals time. We saw the 76ers beat the Hawks 127 to 111 to take a 2-1 lead in that series. And the Suns are going great guns against the Nuggets, 116 to 102 to take a 3-0 lead in their series. Kind of interesting that the Eastern Conference were the ones that had in the first round had one-sided affairs. Whereas their conference semi-finals now are really tight, with Philadelphia 2-1 up against Atlanta, and Brooklyn 2-1 up against Milwaukee. Whereas on the Western side, where there were really competitive opening rounds, these conference semi-finals are a bit one-sided. The Utah leading the Clippers 2-0, and that's when we talk about the Phoenix there, the Suns leading the Nuggets 3-0. Over in the NBL in Australia, we've got the semi-finals time, and the Wildcats beat the Hawks 79 to 71, an 8-point win there, reversing the opening game. So that's 1-1 now, and that will go down to a decider tomorrow. The Melbourne United will be looking to close out their semi-final against Southeast Melbourne Phoenix, where they've got a 1-0 lead currently. That game's at 5 p.m. today. Over in the Sal's NBL, we had 2 games yesterday. The Hawke's Bay Hawks thumped the Otago Nuggets 103 to 73, a 30-point win there. So a big win by the Hawks, after Andrew on Limited Minutes podcast had a chat about the Hawks a couple of weeks ago. They're going great guns now. We also had the Auckland derby as the Auckland Huskies took on the Franklin Bulls. The Franklin Bulls coming out on top there, 78-70. That win for the Hawks sees them up into third place now, but they've got 2 games in hand of the Southland Sharks. They could climb up and be on the same points as Southland Sharks at the top there if they win those 2 games. You'll say the Sharks, the Saints, and the Hawks looking a bit of a step ahead of the rest of the field in that one. Let's move on then to the NRL, where the Titans pushed the Roosters all the way. It finished 35-34, so a real tight one there for the Roosters taking that win. Rabbitohs had it more comfortable against the Knights. They beat them 24-10 in that one. Also, the Raiders had a comfortable win over the Broncos, 38-16 there. The Warriors are in action today against the Storm at 4 p.m. today. And don't forget to join the Standoff Show on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m, where the boys will go through all of the action from week 14. I'm sure they'll also cover off on the State of Origin, as well as previewing week's 15's action as well. So that's 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening. Over to the rugby then. We had 3 games in Super Rugby Trans-Tasman yesterday. First up, the Crusaders took on the Rebels, knowing that they had to win by 33 points and obviously pick up the try bonus point to get ahead of the Highlanders to put them into the finals. They were unable to do that. They came up just short. They beat the Rebels 52-26, so 7 points short of that target that they needed. There were a whole bunch of tries that they didn't quite execute on, and you got to say perhaps the Crusaders showing the pressure there and perhaps trying to force things too much against the Rebels. The Rebels, to be fair to them, fought back. It did look like it was going to be a blowout, and that the Crusaders were going to get there easily, but the Rebels showed some real backbone. Next up, the Blues took on the Force, and they won that game 31-21. Their forwards really doing the work that you could tell here that the Blues knew they just needed the win and showed much more composure than we've seen from the Crusaders in the previous game. They went out to a 28-0 lead, and it was a question of, it did look like a question of how many at halftime. But in the second half, the Force came out and won the second half 21-3. So really closed that gap up there. So good to see the Western Force showing again some backbone and coming back in that one. Not enough for the win, obviously. The Blues will be hosting their first Super Rugby final in 18 years against the Highlanders, as the Blues, Highlanders and Crusaders all finish on the same number of points, and points difference was the only thing separating the 3 teams. Finally, we had the dead rubber between the Waratahs and the Chiefs, and this one looked like it was going to be a cricket score, with the Chiefs scoring in the first minute and going close soon afterwards. But after that, the Waratahs showed some better defence, and it finished 40-7. I say at one point it was looking like being could they reach 80-ish. So the Waratahs again did fight back. It was only 7-14 at half time. And then it sort of four tries in the second half, it blew out there. Sean Wainui scoring 5 tries in this one, so congratulations to him on that record. Fantastic result from him. Finally, let's talk about the cricket, where New Zealand taking England on in the second test. England posted 103 in their first innings, and New Zealand were set had just lost Will Young going into day 3. Ross Taylor was there unbeaten. He went on to score 80 runs, which took New Zealand to 4 for 292. After that, though, several players got starts, but no one really managed to stick around. Nichols got 21, Blundell 34, Patel 20, which saw New Zealand all out for 388. Giving them an 85-run lead on the first innings. However, after that, the bowlers really came out to play. Stuart Broad took 4 wickets in that innings for England, the top wicket taker. After that, though, as I say, the New Zealand bowlers came out to play and absolutely demolished the English batting lineup. Matt Henry started things off with a wicket in the opening over, and in his opening spell of 6 overs, took 3 wickets there to reduce England to 3 for 30. After that, Patel chipped in. Wagner chipped in with the next wickets. He took 3 wickets, Patel 2, and Trent Boult just the solitary one to reduce England to 122 for 9 there. A lead of just 37 runs with 1 wicket remaining and 2 days play left. So New Zealand in full control, and we'll be looking to wrap that game up on the 4th day. You'd think it would take an almighty batting partnership from Ollie Stone and James Anderson if they were to deny New Zealand the win on day 4 in that one. So Black Caps well up ahead of the World Test Championship against India at. Well, I think it was supposed to be at Lords, but it might be moved due to COVID in that one. You have now started the day the best way to speak with all the important sports news. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend, everybody. I'll be back tomorrow morning at the regular time of 7 a.m. for the morning sports briefing.